Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Anna and I'm a little bit spooky. And today I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about some of my favorite makeup products for fall. I know we're getting a little late into fall here. I wanted this to go up like in September, but have not had the opportunity to sit down and really film it because, girl, there's been a lot going on. And I actually really had this on the books for last week, but last week kind of got blown away. I wanted to sit down though and just talk about some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes, blushes, highlights, lip products, all that for this time of year. Some of these are new, some of these are older that you might already have on hand, and that's why I wanted to include them because you don't have to run out and buy a new palette every season. I have a nice selection of products ranging in price from really affordable drugstore to a little more higher end, and we got a nice variety of new and old mixed in stuff that you probably already have on hand. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I think most of this is still, of course, available. So let's get into the products. Let's go ahead and just start with eyeshadow palettes because that is the biggest thing in front of me that is staring at me in my little curated collection of products that I've really been reaching for since September. The first thing I want to talk about is the Natasha Denona Mini Lila palette. This one you might not expect to grab for during the fall with the purples, but I think purples and this plummy burgundy shade here are so beautiful for this time of year. Pairing it with this warm camel brown, like, it's just a gorgeous look, and I think it's a little unexpected. I really like using just these three here for like a quick everyday look. Pretty, it's easy, it's quick, and just looks really nice and seasonal. While we're still talking about some higher end products, I want to include the Jackie Aina palette from ABH. This color story to me is just an absolutely stunning color story. And I think that these shades are just beautiful for this time of year. I mean, they're rich. They're just, I just want to roll around in them. Beautiful. I love the jewel tones and just the pure richness of these shades. It's just stunning. I've loved every single look I've created with this palette, and I think it's just absolutely perfect for fall. And I love that it does have the purples in there as well, because I just think purples look so beautiful paired with these reddish browns. It's a gorgeous look. Yeah, I figure a good bit of us probably already have this one as well since it's been out a little bit, and Jackie did a fantastic job, so I have to include it. It's in my top 5 favorite palettes because just these colors are everything in here. Also, of course, Melt Gemini. Could there be a more fall appropriate palette with this color story? These greens, this murky shade down here, and these beautiful, beautiful mustardy warm golden shades and the beautiful browns. This is just such a good fall palette, and if you've been on my channel for a little while, you know how much I love the Melt Gemini palette. I love green eyeshadow and I love yellowy mustard eyeshadows, so this is kind of just everything I wanted in a palette right here. That it was like a palette I've been dreaming of. Next is, of course, Naked Honey from Urban Decay. I think Naked Honey is probably just an absolutely perfect fall palette as well. This color story, yes. I actually really enjoy this palette in the spring, and also just because I feel like these colors could work for both seasons. Just something about it. It just, of course, I mean, it's honey themed, so I love it anyway. But this is a really, really wonderful fall palette. If you don't care for the greens in Gemini, and maybe those yellows are a little much for you, I would say try out reach for Naked Honey instead, because the shades are just a little bit more muted, but you still get that golden honey, a little bit mustard vibe in there without it being quite so mustard. I have done so many looks with all these palettes that I probably can't link them all. I do have a playlist for Naked Honey and Melt Gemini that I'll link in the cards so you can see some looks and some fall looks that I have done. Next palette, jumping over to ColourPop, we have the Through My Eyes palette in collaboration with I Love Saori. I think this color story is really fun for this time of year because you have that pop of emerald in here, and you have some plums, and you've got these really vibrant coral, beautiful berry tones, and these really, really vibrant mustard and orangey shade. And you got, of course, beautiful bronzes and browns. Everything's very warm. It just all plays well together. The shadows in this palette blend so freaking good. This color story to me is just definitely fall vibes 100%. And I think this was actually probably in my last year's fall picks, but I have to include it again because it is just so perfect. I used it the other day in conjunction with the Jackie Ina palette to create my go-to fall look I did with some of my YouTube friends over here. I'll link that video in the cards so you can see both of these in action together. And for something a little bit newer on the market and a little bit, I don't know if you'll be able to get your hands on it kind of thing, but I do want to mention the Hocus Pocus palette from ColourPop because these colors are so fall right here as well. I really enjoy this palette. I love it. I know some people are really disappointed in the color story, but this is my kind of color story. These are colors I love just in general. This is a good almost everyday palette to me. I love these brown tones in here. I like to have some warm camel. You got a nice glittery shade, beautiful purples that are warmer based, and then you have these really cool cranberry shades. I used this row and some of the browns on my eyes today, and I've had a lot of fun playing with this, and if you can get your little hands on it, you like this color story and you like Hocus Pocus, definitely this is one to look at because I've enjoyed every day I've gotten to play with it. So from Dose of Colors, Sassy Sienna. We got this in BoxyCharm, I believe. This is just a, sienna color story. It's all matte. You can mix and play, pop some glitter or shimmer in there, make a really beautiful look. The quality of this palette is absolutely outstanding, and the color story is, of course, perfect for this time of year. You can't beat this palette. Quality-wise, it is on another level good. It's cute, it's simple, it's curated, it's monochromatic. It's definitely just a palette you can just grab for and go. I was thinking it would be fun to mix in like glitter with that palette. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this one last year, but this is the NYX Glitter Goals little quad in Galactica. Glitters in here are so cool and so unique. You have this a copper orange shade with little bits of green glitter within it. I mean, it's so fall and it's so cool. If you're a fan of glitter and fall tones, this is definitely one to look at. And lastly, for eyeshadow, we have the Wet n Wild, my Glamour Squad palette. This is a dupe, I think, of Soft Glam, and then somehow ABH turned around and then duped this one with their palette this year. The Soft Glam 2 or whatever it is. The quality on this palette is fantastic. I love it. I love these tones in here. But yeah, this is just a good standard go-to palette. You can get some soft everyday looks from it. You can amp it up and really go glam with it. The color story to me really suits this time of year, and I think it's so pretty. And it is probably one of my favorites from the Wet n Wild Color Icon little collection. Okay, and that's all for eyeshadows, but I do have a couple eyeliner picks. First is a nice jewel tone purple eyeliner. I think is great for this time of year. This is from ColourPop. It's a cream gel liner in Trick or Treat, also from the Hocus Pocus collection. It fits fall, okay? This is a metallic amethyst, deep amethyst. It's beautiful, gorgeous shade, and the ColourPop gel liners are fantastic. So if you haven't tried this formula, at least try the formula. I really love a good kind of deep purple liner for this time of year. Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk eyeliner. I have this in my waterline today. It is a deep burgundy, blood red almost shade, and it is beautiful and surprisingly wearable. These three blushes from Melt, this is from their Royal collection, and I think all three of these are absolutely stunning for fall and forever, but particularly for fall, I think they are awesome. They all have a very, very metallic finish. They have a very shimmery finish. They're almost metallic. I think on a deeper skin tone, a good bit of these can make beautiful highlight shades. On me, of course, they're just more like a blush topper because I'm a ghost, but I still make them work and I really like them. This one I like to use almost as a shimmery bronzer and brings so much nice warmth to my face. These also double as fantastic eyeshadows, but anyways, I think these are just so good for this time of year. They're surprisingly versatile and wearable. Despite being so shiny in the pan, they actually read really nice on the skin. Yeah, I like them. I'm wearing a Raw Honey today, topped with some highlighters. Are really interesting shades to them. Like, they don't quite look on the face as they do in the pan, but you can apply them straight as eyeshadows and they look gorgeous. This one I love using on my eyes as well. Two more blushes, actually from e.l.f. Always Cheeky and Always Spicy. These two shades are so gorgeous. This one I think is a little bit easier to use on a fair skin tone, whereas this one is definitely more pigmented and would be so beautiful on deeper skin tones. But either shade, I found that I can get them both to work. This one with a lighter hand. I like the redness in this shade. It has a very scarlet kind of undertone. I think it's so beautiful, especially, obviously with a light hand on me. It is a great shade. It's just a deep red and terracotta. I mean, this is fall in a blush right here. And the formula on these primer infused blushes from e.l.f. is just outstanding for one thing. But I just fell in love with this shade. Just very light hand. These are super pigmented. Even Always Cheeky is quite pigmented, and that is the more of a lighter counterpart to it. It's just more peachy warm type of blush. This is the kind of blush I go to quite often, is this shade. Both of these I think are amazing. And lastly, lips. Let's just end off on some lips. I'm going to talk about a couple lip kits here. This one's from Milani. This is from the Salt and Pepper collection. It is just such a good fall color. This lip liner, for one thing, this beautiful rich brown lip liner is gorgeous. It is all your 90s dreams come true. And I love this lip liner. I want a million of these. And the lipstick, of course, is a nice deep chestnut rosy brown shade. Lippies here are the matte lip crayons from L'Oreal. I have the shades Smooth Caramel and Flirty Toffee. I think both of these are so good for this time of year. This one is a nice deep red, kind of burnt red, and then Smooth Caramel is a nice warm caramel type of shade, a little bit peachy, not quite so caramel where it's like yellow based or anything. It's just a really nice peachy lip, and the formula on these are so good. They really do last, and they're really good to wear under masks. These stay put. They have great staying power. I think this may have been my last year's, but this is the L'Oreal Fallible Pro Matte in Cowboy. This is just a really nice terracotta shade. Oh, it's so good. This formula is so good also, but I love a good terracotta warm lip. This one is so good. It's so good. It's a little bit deeper once it dries, so it has have a deeper terracotta vibe going, and I really like this quite a bit. Next is the Marc Jacobs. I never can remember what these are called. I will put it on the screen, of course. But this is one of his little lip pencils in Burn Notice, the Lamarck Liquid Lip Crayon. Odd formula, a little finicky to work with, but this shade is so pretty. It has a slight metallic vibe to it, but it is just a perfect burnt deep red, and it has that kind of like almost a glow to it. It's not quite overly metallic, but there's like a golden shift within it. Formula is a little different than what you're normally used to. Like compared to this, they're nothing alike. This is truly like a liquid lipstick in a stick form. It's a little weird, but the color is just phenomenal. Sticking to that burnt red, we have a new one from Maybelline. This is the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink from the Coffee collection. This is in the shade Cocoa Connoisseur. Really nice deep burnt red as well. It's a little bit more red warm than the L'Oreal. This one definitely has more warmth in it and just looks so good with these eyeshadow palettes. It just completes the look. Next we have from CoverGirl the Melting Pout Matte. This is a really nice deep brownie red shade. In the tube it looks a little bit different. It is much darker in person, and I think it looks really good with the honey tones as well, and it's just so pretty. This has been a favorite for some time. Just beautiful shade. Just keep in mind it is much darker than it appears in the tube. Oh, we got a little friend. We got a little filming friend. It's Pumpkin. She's had some allergies today and she needs to come say hi. Her ears are still bothering her. Hugs. She's had a rough day. She had to go to the vet, so all the hugs for Pumpkins. I'm almost done. You can go sit down for a minute, okay? I'm almost finished. Okay, and then for more of a brighter red that is more in a warmer family, this is L'Oreal Color Riche or L'Oreal Signature or something. I really never know the name of these. It doesn't say it on the product. But this is the shade Amaze, and it is a very just nice nice warm orangey red lipstick, and it's so pretty. To me in person it looks a little more muted than it does on camera. On camera it always comes off very bright, but it's just a really nice, if you don't want to go the full dark burnt red kind of color, this one's a good option because it's just a little bit lighter, easier to pull off, but still really vibrant and a little something special. You can't have a fall without a berry lip, and I've really been into this little Stila Stay All Day or Sheer Morello. These are more like a stain rather than the liquid lipstick. It's a different formula, but this is just a really nice berry color, and it's just got a sheerness to it, but it dries down. They're easy, good shades to work with, especially if you have to wear a mask, because it locks in and it's not going to go anywhere It doesn't look like too much kind of thing. It's a really good shade. I love this one paired with the Natasha Denona palette, in fact. A lip gloss that I've really been into is the Lip Plumping Gloss from e.l.f. Mocha Twist. This is just a really nice, warm, caramelly shade. You know, it's a little bit of that peachy terracotta-ness to it. Oh god, look at the mess. But I'm just going to show you that one real quick. This formula on these is so good. Lip kit from ColourPop and Hocus Pocus. Okay, it's what I got on today. Just a nice burgundy lip. It's kind of a staple for fall to me, is a burgundy lip. You can't not have a burgundy lip. So yeah, that little lip kit right here. So yeah, that is my fall makeup picks. I tried to pare it down, not get too crazy with it this year, and I really wanted to just shop my stash and find things that I have already that I think a lot of you guys might have too, that we can just reach for and grab and play with this time of year without running out and buying every new palette. That being said, there is a number of palettes on my radar this season. That's all for me today. Thank you so much for hanging out, and let me know some of your favorite fall makeup products down below, like ones you reach for year after year. I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.